Welcome to an F1 Shakedown, the podcast. Wayne Williams and Bart Murphy, the pre-show for the Mexican Grand Prix 2024. Hope everybody's doing all right. Bart, what's going on, son?
Oh, not much. Not much. It's, I guess we're just in the middle of the third free practice now. It looks like we got some Ferraris on top.
I don't know, man. Those upgrades from Ferrari have been really panning out in these last couple of track styles. So we'll see what's going on. Sainz has been showing. I wonder if Ferrari's going,
Yeah, with Sainz. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
But hey, you know, I mean, come on, you're bringing a Hamilton in. Please don't discount Wayne. Please don't discount.
You just don't want to be a Ferrari fan. That's all.
Yeah, I guess, but no, yeah. But I gotta say that every time Hamilton has made a decision for his career, it's been a smart one, and he kind of understands. You know, he reads those tea leaves real good. So
absolutely.
So just a quick pre-race here, and then we'll chat about the race afterwards. And of course, love the Mexican track. Love the fact that they have to deal with the elevation issues of this track. You know, what is it like? It's like 2 kilometers above sea level, right?
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
Oh no, sorry, it's about 2 kilometers above sea level, 4.3 kilometers. And of course, the thin air, you know, the engine, the tech, you know, all the mechanics have to deal with that engine fighting for air, drivers fighting for air for that matter. Brake temperatures go up because of the same reason, and man, a lot of adjustments going on when it comes to dealing with the Mexican track. So
yeah, did you see the gills on the side of that? Especially the Ferrari. I mean, they're huge. Intakes. So yeah.
Exactly. And then on top of that too, changes to the track, shortened one DRS zone along the main straight. So now the zone is 75 meters shorter. So to prevent, I guess, easy overtakes that we saw back in 2023. So
yes.
So some changes there. So you know, we saw in practice yesterday a couple of incidents. George, you know, that was a pretty heavy hit. I see the look there. So do tell. What do you think? What are you thinking, Bart?
I don't know. He's been so rattled. It's just. I don't know if it's a lack of concentration. I don't know what's going on. You know, there's a couple of drivers that it seemed really distracted lately. George is one of them. Perez is the other one. And I don't know if they're feeling the pressure from the younger guys coming up and rumors. And I'm not sure, but it's just these silly little mistakes. You know, that mistake from George yesterday. And those poor mechanics. You know, they just had to deal with his crash last weekend. They've got to put that car back together again. And, you know, it really puts them on the back foot. I don't know. What do you think of what's going on with George?
I have no idea. I'm straight honest with you. I don't know. He just seems a little, as my mom used to say, a little flighty these days.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, just a little, you know, just kind of like, blah, 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 everything's fine. And I don't know. I don't want to go into like, you know, what his issue is, but who knows what's going on in his life. You know, we got to remember too, you know, these guys are human. They're drivers. They have families. They have a lot of things going on besides Formula One, but we do understand that, you know, because they're at the pinnacle of the sport, you know, they need to really, you know, this needs to take up almost, you know, 80% of your life, which is tough too, right?
Yeah,
Mental
absolutely.
health is important when it comes to sport, which we've seen over the last few years that people have taken that a little seriously as well too. Nobody's saying that, you know, he's got any kind of, you know, issues in that respect. But when people, you know, sometimes people just go through slumps, right? Like any other sport, right? There's that too, right? You just you have your good races and your good, you know, stints, and then you have some bad ones. So it could just be that. And when it comes to motorsport too, it just could be, you know, there's a lot of other variables involved with the cars too. Issues mechanically issues with setups, tracks, a lot of different things. So who knows?
Yep, absolutely, absolutely, and it's such a mental sport. I mean, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. And maybe there was a comfort with Lewis. Lewis has been a great teammate, and now he's got a new teammate coming on with Kimmy, and he seems like could be a great teammate as well, but you just don't know. And is George feeling the pressure of all of a sudden now being the number one in the team too? Maybe that's it. Who knows? But
Who knows? But speaking of George, you talking about some helmets, something
oh
about
yeah,
George?
yeah. So we've got a couple of helmets. I don't know if you saw the Carlos Sainz helmet, but it's pretty cool. And then there's George's helmet.
I love it. Not sure if that'll fit in a cockpit, but
Yeah, it might screw up the aerodynamics of the car.
yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. That's fun though. That's fun. But I do love the Leclerc, the Day of the Dead, any of that.
Yeah. No, it's pretty. It's
that
pretty cool. I mean,
it's
it's
pretty cool.
yeah,
Just the vibrancy too. Just the excitement, the vibrance in the air, the Mexican Grand Prix. The fans, the art, the culture is just amazing. I love it. I'd love to make it there. We haven't. Well, I haven't been to that track yet, so it would be
no,
kind of cool to
yeah,
head there for sure.
absolutely, absolutely.
So let's just get into, I guess, just a race preview. And first of all, I mean, yeah, we're recording this before qualifying. So who do you think will be top spots in qualifying?
Well, we were close last week with the Max prediction. If he wasn't so aggressive into the first corner, I think maybe
Yeah.
he could have been up there at the top. I don't think it's Red Bull's weekend. I think we're going to see if you go back to basically the setup is a lot like Monaco, where you've got high downforce, and the reason they have to do high downforce is because what you talked about earlier, the thin air. And so if you look back to Monaco, yes, Max did win that, or sorry, Leclerc did win that race, but Oscar Piastri was close behind in second and gaining at the end of the race. So I have a feeling that Piastri is going to win this one. I think Leclerc is going to be second. It looks like the McLarens and the Ferraris are kind of leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. But Yuki Tsunoda, again, looking good. He was third in free practice 1, second or third in free practice 2. So we'll see that RB is looking pretty good as well. What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah, no, I agree with the top. I'm going to maybe lean a little bit more Ferrari, just because you're you're leading Piastri and McLaren, but I think that Sainz is on a bit of a roll right now. So I'm going to go somewhere in there, top three. There's going to be, as mentioned, McLaren, Ferrari, but I'm going to give Ferrari the edge on this one, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Norris comes
Yeah,
out of nowhere. I would love to see Yuki on the podium, though. I know it's a bit of a long shot, but
yeah.
who knows? But it just seems like Ferrari and McLaren in these high downforce circuits seem to be just a little bit better. We'll see about tire management again, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's speaking of RB, Wayne. Did you hear the rumor? The rumor was swirling around this morning is that Colapinto has been offered the second race seat at RB. I don't know if that's true, but this harkens back to it reminds me a lot of the Nick DeVries situation, where Nick was a Williams driver and then he got poached by RB, and you saw what happened to him. He got eaten up and chewed up and spit out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't last. What he lasted? What 2 years? Less than two
2 years.
years
Yeah.
at RB. So it's a bit of a pressure cooker in that team. So I don't know if that's Colapinto's best move, but
It's a seat. Get that man a seat.
yeah, you're right. It's a seat. It's a seat. It's just a risky. It's a risky move, but we'll see. You know, having him and if they move Yuki up to the to Red Bull proper, I don't know. Who knows? But that's the rumor that's going around this morning. So,
And since Yuki has calmed down a little bit, temperament wise, in the car, instead of screaming at his team, concentrating more on his driving, he's gotten a lot better.
oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you know, I've watched him progress over the years, and I mean, this kid was just it was more about just screaming at the team, or concentrating on driving, and you could see the back and forth, for the first couple of years, and he's changed a bit, even in his press interviews.
Yeah. Don't bother me while I'm in the corners.
Right, exactly.
Don't bother me while I'm on the straight. It's like
Yeah.
just don't talk to Yuki.
Doesn't talk to me at all, right? I know. I get that. There's I totally understand that too. That when a team's talking to you is extremely important, right? But overall, but he's gotten. Yeah, I think he's got quite a future in the sport, and I think he's going to make his way up through Red Bull, and get to that top spot. If not sooner than later, just Checo. I don't know.
Yeah. I think Colapinto should give Nick DeVries a call though first. Give Nick a call.
Advice? A little advice.
Yeah, a little advice from Nick because this is exactly what happened to him a couple of years ago. So I don't know how that conversation would go, but
Right. All right. Okay. What else we got? So actually, you know what? I was reading a race recap, which is a great resource for just keeping up to date on Formula One, by the way, just as an FYI for our viewers out there. And they've got a poll up there right now, which is a very interesting question, is that when did you start watching F1?
oh
Right?
yeah, that's a great poll.
And be honest. And then the options are proud Drive to Survive fan. Right?
Yeah.
And then between 2015, 2020, between 2005, 2015, between 1995 and 2005, or are you a pre-90s F1 fan?
Ooh.
And if you go to the results, right, as of when we're recording this, which really surprised me, that at 53.7%, pre-90s.
Really?
Yeah, and the lowest is between 2015 and 2020. Then second is Proud Drive to Survive fan.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
Right?
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought that would be number one, but
Right,
that
yeah.
totally makes sense.
Well, yeah, between that and the old school folks like us, but
Yeah.
and then it's 1995 to 2005. Then last is 2005 to 2015 was when the most new fans jumped into Formula One.
Yeah, that was kind of the dark ages for F1, and I got to be honest, there was a few years where I just kind of stopped being interested. So
Me too.
I'm not sure why. Those were years when Sebastian Vettel was winning, and I don't know. I kind of lost interest. I'm not sure why. But Wayne, I fall into the category of 95 to 2005. I actually started watching F1 because of Jacques Villeneuve,
Right.
his entry into Formula One in '96. So he was in IndyCar, Champ Car, won the Indianapolis 500 in '95, and then moved to Williams in '96, and raced alongside Damon Hill and Heinz-Harald Frentzen. And then, obviously he won the championship in '97. So that's when I started watching. I'm not sure what category do you fall under?
So I started out with IndyCar, right? So that was in the mid '90s, right? And then progressed to Formula One, late '90s, early 2000s,
Oh, okay.
and then that's when we met up, right? And we crossed paths and shared our love for motorsport, and then the rest is history, as they say. So
Yeah. So what drew you into Formula One though? Was it a specific driver or?
no, just a progression in the sport, right? I've always been a car fan, always been a just loved the mechanical things and the way things work, and I love electronics and just technology in general, and love speed. Whether it
Right
be
on.
cars,
So it didn't have anything to
whatever,
do.
right? So
It
it all kind of just came together, and then just even the design of cars. Uh, I love even just the way a livery looks on a car, right? I'm art.
yeah
I love art as well too. So it all all kind of ties together. So
yeah
and
yeah.
then just started out, and my gateway drug for racing was IndyCar. It's North
Yeah.
America, was close. I could go to
Me
Toronto.
too. Me too.
Yeah, right. We went to
Yep.
Toronto a lot and watched the Toronto Indy,
Yep.
and then grew from there, and then progressed to Formula One, and just I just loved. I was almost like F1 is kind of next level when it comes to IndyCar, but
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah. Speaking of IndyCar, Pato O'Ward. By the way, O'Ward. I thought he was an Irish guy when I first heard the name. I didn't realize he was Mexican. But yeah, so Pato was participated in free practice one this weekend. So we've got two Mexican drivers now, potentially.
hmm
Pato and Checo. There might be like ships passing in the night. The two of
in the
them
night, right?
might not be racing together
Right.
in the series, but and wow, did you see Pato O'Ward when he was at the mall signing autographs?
No, I didn't
Wayne,
see any of that footage.
Wayne,
No.
the girls were leaning over the. It was like the Beatles all over again. The girls were
Wow,
leaning over the railing, crying. He's like a national
a
hero.
rock star. Okay, cool.
I think he's kind
Well,
of
Checo's getting up there in age, so it's the new guy. It's the young
well.
kid,
It's
right?
the new guy, the new hunky guy, and he's yeah, and he's a good looking guy, but yeah. So he's the up and coming star for Mexico. And apparently, well, he's a great racer too. He finished fifth in IndyCar this year. With sort of the Arrows McLaren team may not be the best, and he did really well. He finished fifth. So yeah, so
Oh,
interesting to
cool.
see him. Speaking of good looking guys, and I'm a heterosexual guy, Wayne. So there was a Charles Leclerc is involved in Canal, the TV broadcaster in France. They're doing a documentary on the French Air Force. And they posted this picture. Well, actually, he posted this picture yesterday. And again, heterosexual guy, but I gotta say, I didn't know that we needed to see Charles Leclerc in a different uniform.
Yeah, those are really cool shots. Those are really cool shots. Uh, uh,
No
oh,
comment from you otherwise. Hey, listen, he's a good-looking guy, and
yeah.
GQ Charles GQ Leclerc.
Yep.
Moving right along.
You're right. I'm not sure where you're going with this, but yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
that's
All right.
interesting that he actually got to fly in a fighter jet. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
What these guys get to do in the
I
off,
know.
like when they're
I
not
know.
racing, like, oh, let's just go up and we'll take you around in a fighter jet. But apparently he enjoyed it, and the G forces didn't bother him as much as a regular human because they deal with that on the track anyway.
All the
So
time, right? Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The abuse that against a regular human being in those cars that people do not understand. They really don't get it. But anyways, let's wrap this up, and we'll see you post the Mexican Grand Prix.
Yes.
Bart says it may be Piastri. I'm saying it maybe Sainz, maybe a Ferrari. So we'll see what happens. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. Yes, we
All
will
right.
see
So
you
a great race. And
tomorrow.
you know what we haven't been doing is when we started this podcast, the audio podcast back in the early 2000s, we used to sign off with a saying, and the saying was, "Happiness isn't around the corner. Happiness is the corner." Later.